Thank you for downloading the RJShow podcast. I always screw up the title of my own friggin' podcast. Today on the show, I want to talk about the NFL Week 1. I want to get into some college football playoff implications, some power rankings. Giannis Antetokounmpo unfollowed me. The Big Ten is in full CYA mode, and it's only getting sillier. And I'm joined by my best friend, like we always do on Mondays, Ron Taylor. Ron, how you doing?
Hey, happy Monday. Feeling pretty good today.
Yeah, man. I also wanted to get into, we are being sponsored. Get that, Ron. Like we got sponsors on the show. And well, I mean, Pimpin' Ain't Easy Marketing Conference is sticking with us. I appreciate them. As is Who Is Mike Jones Event Planning. I had to talk GMMI into sticking with the show because downloads weren't what they expected them to be, and then Quincy Avery joined the show. And now, support for the RJ Show podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Since we're coming right out and talking about jewels, I told a story about my excursion into this on the previous podcast, that is episode number 186. This is episode number 187, and we're going to murder it. So after that, you could say I was a little cagey, but Manscaped is coming up with these products that I really want to try, one of which is called, I kid you not, the Lawnmower 3.0. Their engineering team spent 18 months perfecting this thing into the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created. So I'm going to try this Lawnmower 3.0 and other goodies they're sending me that are going to get here on Wednesday. And I'm going to open them on the live stream in an unboxing on the channel. It's got a ceramic blade, which is part of the advanced skin-safe technology that was actually pioneered by Manscaped. You can use it in the shower, which is awesome. The battery lasts up to 90 minutes in case you need, a little bit of extra time. It's got an LED light so you can see what you're trimming. And if you visit manscaped.com and use the promo code RJShow, that's 2 words, RJShow, at manscaped.com, 20% off your purchase and free shipping, which we all love and adore. RJShow at manscaped.com, 20% off free shipping. My thanks to the folks at Manscaped. So from manscaping to the landscape of the NFL, because Ron, I wrote these dad jokes, and I want to see if I'm going to be able to get through any of these without you just deciding that this segment is no good and we got to do away with it.
Okay, well, for a good dad joke, it's got to make you feel like you're about to die, so hit me with these, and if I sigh hard, they're good.
Okay, all right, cool. Stretching my Jim Gaffigan muscles right quick. Josh Allen passed for 300 yards against the Jets in a 27-17 win for the Bills. Greg Williams must be getting cheap in his old age. Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran for 138 yards in his first game as a pro in the Chiefs' 34-20 win against Houston. That's 28 more yards than he ran for in the national title game, and the number of dead bodies he left on the floor against OU in the Peach Bowl.
Okay, that's pretty clever.
Okay. The Detroit Lions lost to a team led by Mitch Trubisky, 27-23, proving if you believe in yourself, anything is possible.
Okay, so some air monarchs just magically appeared on my feed. You're doing devil work right now.
Cam Newton led the Patriots to a 21-11 win against the Miami Dolphins in an effort that Boston Sports Talk Radio has given entirely to Bill Belichick in the Brady Was Here power rankings. Added just a little bit of addition here. I found out earlier this morning the Saints-Buccaneers game was the most watched game on Fox since the Super Bowl, which makes it the most watched television show of 2020 thus far. Ron, tell me you had other things to do.
Not gonna lie, I made the call to go see Tenet, so I took my talents down to the Admiral Twin on this one. Didn't get to watch the Grumpy Old Men sequel.
I wanted to watch it because I love nothing more than watching two aged, washed old white men try to put on like they're 17. Because, like, this gets better. I'm going to get to some more Gaffigan jokes in here in a little bit. The Eagles blew a 17-point lead to a team purposefully named Football Team, 27-17, and I love this song. Because I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, that one right there just asked me, did I touch the thermostat?
In my house. Did you touch the thermostat in my house? All right, let me know when we get to no locked doors in my house portion of the jokes. Josh Jacobs is from North Tulsa, was a no-star recruit who was homeless before he earned an offer from Alabama and led the Vegas Raiders to a 34-30 win against Christian McCaffrey. Respect will be paid. No white man can't jump vibes in there?
Nope, not a winner on that one.
Okay.
Hit me with the next one.
Okay. Lamar Jackson put on for his people, and Baker is an embarrassment to his. The score was 38-6, but it could have been better. But Odell Beckham chose to play anyway.
Yeah, next.
Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals beat the defending NFC champion 49ers 24-20 in the Bay. 5'10" and you royalty. Short King Mama A.
Wow, very washed. That one just asked me if where I'm going to be in about 5 years.
Did it just ask you, can you get a job with that degree?
Oh, no. Just don't make it real.
Is that an actual major? What is that?
How much does that make?
Right. So what do you do with an art history degree? English? Don't you speak it?
Too close to home, RJ. Pull up.
Oh, my God. Okay. If I told you Matt Ryan threw for 450 yards against the Seattle Seahawks, you tell me they found a way to blow a 28-3 lead in the second half of the Super Bowl against the Pats. So, of course, the Falcons lost to Seattle 38-25 at home. I'm getting...
Keep it moving.
Okay. All right. The Packers drafted a quarterback in the first round. Naturally, Aaron Rodgers responded by going 32 of 44 for 364 yards with 4 TDs in a 43-34 shellacking of the entire state of Minnesota. Coincidentally, Carry the Rage Roger debuts on your favorite NFL streaming service later this month. Okay. All right. Not even Joe Burrow could save Cincinnati from certain death, even against the San Diego Strike That Chargers. The Bengals went down 16-13, and at least it's not Cleveland.
That's some shots fired, dog. Not even a dad joke. You just gouging holes right now.
I mean, it's Ohio. Like, every team is playing football, but the Buckeyes. They deserve everything they get. I picked the Jacksonville Jaguars on ESPN Radio, game night with Jeff Dickerson, to beat the Colts because Phil Rivers is a year older than Lincoln Riley, and the Jags are quarterbacked by Uncle Rico. Take the guy who can throw a football over them mountains, best Mississippi quarterback not named Brett Favre in years, and not the guy with an arm like a Dollar General water pistol.
You can't see it, but I'm nodding my head in agreement.
Okay. In a duel of 40-plus-year-old quarterbacks, the winner was 26-year-old Jameis Winston, who watched Tom Brady throw a pick six and couldn't help telling his teammates how his ex thought she was better than him. The total was 34-23. That's 30 years younger than Pro-Am golfer Tom Brady and the original Too Short quarterback Drew Brees. Brady has played more games at QB than any other in NFL history at 327 and counting. He became the oldest player in the history of the league to score a TD at 43. Ponce de Leon went looking for the fountain of youth and found Florida, Tom. He found humiliation, mutilation, death, and dishonor, too. Finally, Dallas Cowboys lost to the Los Angeles Rams 20-17 in a fireable offense for both Mike Nolan, defense coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, and the NFL referees. Why? Because apparently I'm going to get called for offensive pass interference for holding the door open, and Nolan could not succeed in getting an offensive pass interference called against Robert Woods. Ron, I hate it here.
Yeah, me too. Just not for football reasons.
Well, I mean, there's that. So that concludes our NFL recap, unless there's more to add there. Look, it is weird to watch football on television because it felt like football on television, and then you looked at the stands. Some of them had people in them, but if you watch Baltimore and Cleveland like I did, nobody saw it, but everybody saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird.
Oh yeah, no. Another thing that's really weird is if you're paying attention, you assume that you don't have any other distractions going on. Is the crowd noise that they were pumping into this game? It felt like I had like NBA 2K or Madden on pause, and it's just the nonstop. Very strange. Don't like it. Get rid of it.
I was mad when they cranked it up with a turnover. Like when a turnover was made, they just cranked it up, like SoFi Stadium. Last night when the Dallas Cowboys and Rams played, I'm like, yo, hey, look, we get it. There's a turnover. We're losing our minds at home. They don't need that. Why are you doing that to them? Also, Ron, the going rate for an NFL stadium, I thought it was a lot when Jerry Jones erected, that monument in Texas for about $1 billion. SoFi cost $5 billion.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a good investment. Right? They're definitely going to get that money back.
Oh, my God. And Stan Kroenke is a crook. I say that knowing that he owns my favorite soccer team. Just, I can't with these dudes, man. Like, I look up, and Stan Kroenke's got a mask on. I look up, and Jerry Jones does not. I'm judging all of the, like, Sean McVay coached the whole game with the mask underneath his chin like an Oklahoman. Mike McCarthy out there looking like he's actually, with us. He had the thing on the whole time. Cliff Kingsbury decided that his face was too pretty to put on a mask, which made it even more punchable. Like, what are we doing here? It seems like there's no hard, fast rule here.
Yeah, no, I need everybody to show up like Andy Reid looking like a sweaty Iron Man.
Just fogging up the windshield. Just fogging it up. And by the end of the fourth quarter, he's just got it raised. Like Iron Man at his own birthday party. I'm waiting on him to tell somebody to toss champagne bottles in the air so he can blast them.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for Nick Fury to show up on the sideline saying like, "Hey, I got something to tell you."
Even in death, I'm the hero. Okay, so from there, I want to go to the Big Ten, sorta, kinda. But first, we gotta pay the bills, right? Because that's just what we do here on the RJ Young Show. We keep the ads coming through so that we can keep the show going. Always wanted to get your MBA. What's the holdup? If it's tuition fees, let me tell you, the folks at the Get Money Management Institute have a deal for you. At the Get Money Management Institute, they've just slashed their entrance fee, their late fee, their slushy fee, and their fee by 50%. That's right. It's now officially affordable to get your MBA. At the Get Money Management Institute, secure your space in their MBA program today at the Get Money Management Institute. It takes just one phone call to get this online degree that's not worth the effort to blow your nose with it. Mention RJ and receive an additional 20% off at the online campus ebook store. Secure your future with a GMMI MBA, or as they call it, a Master Badass Diploma today. Some restrictions may apply. Absolutely, positively, no refunds. So, Ron, over the weekend, the Big Ten got even sillier. And to underscore the silliness that is the Big Ten, I want to read for you a press release that was just handed to me hours before this show began, in which we find out exactly what's going to happen in Nebraska if the Big Ten returns to football. They're going to be called not the Corn Huskers, but the Corn Hustlers. This decision will not be up for revote despite whatever better ideas might come. I'm still the law in this town. Sign, Commish. All to underscore what are they doing? Like, all right, so going into the weekend, they said they were going to have their medical subcommittee make a presentation to the Big Ten task force for the return on football. And then that task force was going to present their findings from the subcommittee's findings to the university chancellors and presidents, who apparently were listening to people talk about the findings yesterday and today, and may or may not schedule a vote on the return to play Big Ten football. Does that make sense?
I'm glad that they're going through it and having conversations about it, but at this point, it's just a comedy of bureaucracy. That we're going to have a meeting about maybe having a vote, maybe not having a vote, maybe hearing more evidence. I would love for the Big Ten to stick to their guns, but apparently there's some people that have enough of an argument to keep the conversations going, to have more conversations.
And yet they still think that they're going to possibly sort of get football started on October 17th if they got this yes vote. What I find to be really interesting about this is we know where everybody stands on this. We know that you have a bylaw that says you need 60% of the membership to vote for a bill, or a law to be passed. And you ain't got the 60%. As they say, you ain't got the vote. That's the Hamilton line. You ain't got the votes.
I still haven't seen it.
That's cool. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I know. I'm the last person in America. Sorry. One day it'll be my shot.
I dug it. No. Forget that. Don't show up for Lafayette. Don't show up for Thomas Jefferson. Damn sure don't show up for Hamilton. Maybe kind of sort of show up for Aaron Burr, but definitely show up for the King of England. Most righteous and keeping it 100 the whole time. Like, he's the dude showing up with the hoodie on that's all white, talking about, yeah, I'm wearing it. Can you not respect me for wearing it?
Yeah, so this is now a pro King George podcast.
I mean,
get all your King George news here. All your hot King George takes.
I mean, he was right. He was right. Like, what'd he say? Oh, wait a second. Washington you don't want to be king? Oh, all right. I can't wait to see how this goes. You know, and here we are, still quibbling about it, still yelling about it. We talk about a dude that, you know, I'm trying to keep this about football. I really am, but it's hard. It's hard.
Never. So here's yet another twist that 2020 is going to bring, is that we've now started the pro Monarch party. We're getting to it. We need yet another side.
This time, let's flip the script and hand it down through not matrimony, matrilineal means, as opposed to patrilineal.
Yeah, that's a good take. That's absolutely how you started. Just I need more division. Let's get it.
I mean, can we get even more division? You know what we can get? We can get more folks deciding, you know what, to hell with this, I'm going to go do my own thing, which is exactly.
RJ, this is a football podcast.
I was going to say, that's exactly what Shaun Wade has decided to do. See what I did there? Shaun Wade opted out. Shaun Wade opted to go his own way, like Wyatt Davis last week. Now, what I found to be interesting about both of those dudes is not just that they're first-round draft picks, right? One plays defense, one plays offense. Wyatt Davis is a top-rated offensive guard. Shaun Wade is a top-rated cornerback. He wanted to come back to school to win a national championship and to prove that he could play outside corner as opposed to slot corner. Because, like patron Saint Cardale Jones said, I didn't come here to play school. That has never been more true. Because what are you actually doing, right? You're going through practices for a season that probably won't come. So why don't I just take this agent's money to get into shape to do my real job, which is to play football? But even in there, you have guys like Wyatt Davis who have said, yo, if they start playing football soon, I will return to the fold. To which if I'm his agent, I'm like, hey, calm down with that. What am I paying you for? You know, like, I feel some kind of way about that. And all of this is happening we still got 2 weeks until the SEC kicks off. Like, I'm just mad at the CYA of all of this. I'm mad that nobody could actually form any sort of consensus, because when has there ever been a consensus formed on college football? It's never happened. It would never happen. I did not expect Ryan Day to nuke his conference on Friday, though. And then I remembered, that's right, you're the head coach at Ohio State. This is your conference to nuke. He's 17-1. He's never not won the conference championship. When before him, Urban Meyer had created a chasm between them and the rest of the Big Ten. And I can think of fates worse than being lorded over by Ohio State, but not a whole lot. Because they're not interested in you. They're interested in them. You serve at their leisure, speaking of monarchies. And I think Kevin Warren missed the memo. Because that's a dude that's coming from the NFL, and he's used to being able to make different sorts of decisions that grown folks just go with. But we got some bizarre, wacky grown folks in college football. That's the only way that it works. Like, we got $10 million head coaches. They ain't got that in the NFL. You know, we don't pay the starting quarterback at Ohio State a damn thing. What you mean you want to pay Jared Goff $110 million to dink and dunk? That doesn't sound like a prudent investment as a college football coach. I don't think that's the kind of thing that we would let happen at Benjamin Banneker University. Or is it college? It's college.
We're going back and forth on that. It might even be A&M. Might be Tech.
Let me have my BBC.
Might be Institute.
I can't. BBI? Just
that rolls off the tongue real nice.
Can't have no fun on this show. I'm just saying. They can't have no fun on it. I'm all right. Fine. If you want to be a killjoy in that way, cool. But when our wishbone gets blown up, don't come to me talking about RJ. We need to run a defense to complement the offense. Nah, man. I'm blitzing every down. I'm trying to get the ball back or get you the ball back.
I want you to know I'm putting no less than 50 points on the board every game.
Running
so
wishbone?
Don't put that devil on me.
Ain't no way you get no 50 points a game running no wishbone.
50 every game. So if I got to talk to you because you've given up 51, we'll have some problems.
First of all, Texas Tech is still in the Big 12 doing that. Okay? So it works. We keep our jobs. You know, long as you don't throw nobody in a shed, we're good. I don't know why it's got to come back to my defense, especially if you're putting up 50 a game. With the wishbone. Like, are you running basketball on grass? Is that what you're running? You running shotgun or you running like for real flex? With like a fullback and everything?
Oh, basketball on grass.
I mean, that's just blackjack then. You're going to be right more often than you're wrong. It's just, you're going to be predictable as hell too. QB power to the right on 3rd and 2. Yeah, I can already see it. Me running down the sideline is the get back coach going to be just yelling. Just yelling. Talk about, yo, man, if I know what's coming, they damn sure know what's coming. I'm the defensive coordinator. What are we doing? And then don't let me be the person putting dudes in the NFL and let you be putting dudes at CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. Like, that's really going to get on my nerves. Hey, I can make you a first-round draft pick. Well, I can make you the CEO of Tide. Because that's what them dudes that run Wishbone end up doing. Unless you got Calvin Johnson out there. That was also the coldest thing about Georgia Tech at the time. Even Paul Johnson was like, I'm throwing it to Megatron. Damn this. I got 37 running backs. I'm still going to toss it to Megatron. Love watching that dude.
I said I have one exception to my game plan, to my philosophy, and that's throwing it to Megatron.
God. And can you? So Corey Hilliard was the first producer I ever had on a radio show. Corey Hilliard played for 8 years in the NFL as an offensive lineman for Detroit Lions, right? 2-star recruit, made it Oklahoma State, gets a job. And it's one of 2 stories that he told me that I remember. He's talking about Megatron at the Combine. And that story about Megatron showing up without cleats and being handed cleats to run in and saying, nah, I got this. The man ran in shoes that was too small and then dropped 4.4 in the 40 at 6'5", 240. I don't understand. Like, why run it in the first place? 2, how do you run it in shoes that are too small? Not too big, too small. And then, you know, has he ever had a serious injury? I don't think he did.
Not that I remember.
Yeah. And yet here he is just deciding that he's going to play wide receiver. That's also a really big deal. How do you not convince him, to play quarterback, defensive end, any other position where he's got, I would say, more to say about what goes on in the game? Nah, he's like, I'm a wide receiver. Just throw me the ball, watch what I do with it. I got problems with it. And yet, from there, I still got problems with the Big Ten. All right, so I want to trot this out to you, Ron. If they get these logistics under control, and let's say that they vote for a return to football, and they suck for 2 months, and Ohio State catches 2 L's, do you think they're going to try to take it back?
No, because this is what they wanted in the first place. That they're right now they're willing to ride or die with the decision to play right now. I can't imagine anybody would be having any regrets right now, because it seems like everybody from the staff to the fans would say, "Yeah, let's put it on the field." Everybody's waiting that Ohio State's going to run the table if they get to play.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that they're probably right, but if they suck, they say, "Well, guess what? It's the same excuse that we're all going to use for just about everything for this year. It's like, well, hey, 2020 is weird, isn't it? See you next year."
All right. I want to talk about the Sun Belt as the new overlords of the Big 12. First, want to do a read. Getting married this year, organizing a corporate function that needs all the trimmings. Who is Mike Jones Event Planning? Mike Jones Event Planning is your premier event coordinating and concierge service. Mike, that's my bad. Please stick with the show. I get it right. Who is Mike Jones Event Planning coordinates and caters events of all sizes, specializing in graduation parties, theme weddings, bar mitzvahs, quinceañeras, and Kwanzaa. Because you never know when you're going to have a Kwame Brown showing up to your house. Who is Mike Jones Event Planning wants to make sure that your event goes off without a hitch, and that means chopped and screwed planning ahead now. So put them H-Town hussies on Front Street. Remember, back then they didn't want you. Now you hot. They all own you. To make all your dreams come true, call Who is Mike Jones Event Planning at 281-330-8004. Thank you to the folks at Who is Mike Jones Event Planning. I got an event coming up. I'm going to need their services. I'm sure that they're going to try to cut a man a deal. Ooh, super chat from Informal Greeting. Really don't have time to watch, but wanted to say thanks for your work. Still need a way to get you to autograph the book for me. Yeah, I got to work on that. I appreciate the super chat, dog. All right, Ron. Sun Belt played 3 Big 12 teams. Do you know how many wins the Sun Belt got against those Big 12 teams?
No, tell me how many they got.
They got 3, dog.
Oh man.
And
the Sun Belt is my new dad.
Well, I don't know that they're your new dad so much as they're your Omar. All right, so the Sun Belt showed up to your house and robbed you and beat you up, and you don't have nothing to say. Because that's what Arkansas State did to Kansas State. They showed up to Bill Snyder Family Stadium and robbed him of $550,000. Louisiana at Lafayette, the real Raging Cajuns, showed up to Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa, like they had just been evicted from Nova Scotia, like the Acadians that they were, to rob Iowa State of money they didn't really have to give, $350,000, to catch this 2-touchdown L as the number 23 team in the country. I swear for the Lord, there ain't nobody in this chat that could tell me the starting quarterback for Louisiana Lafayette. And you know what? The dudes at Iowa State probably will never forget it. And then last but not least, taking the place of Pac-12 After Dark, we have Big 12 After Dark. Because I watch Kansas get straight up destroyed by a coastal Gamecock on some y'all must have forgot. Like, I made the Chanticleer joke on the national radios, and then y'all try to make fun of me because I'm the only person apparently that watched Rockadoodle Do. Look, Rockadoodle has Christopher Plummer in it. Did you know that?
What is with this Rockadoodle propaganda that you're trying to give people?
Because it's a great American television show. It's about using your voice for good. It's got an Elvis impersonating cock. How does that not make you happy?
I dare anybody out there to string more than 3 sentences together about Rockadoodle. Please do.
Look,
You
man,
act out here like it's all dogs go to heaven. It ain't.
You got an Uncle Dookie in this show. You got Uncle Dookie. You got the Duke and Ursula need to date. I'm not kidding. The Duke and Ursula need to be about it. Because these numbers that the Duke was giving us are amazing. Like, those organs are awesome. These lyrics are great. I mean, he's the only dude walking around talking about he about to eat everybody that is also just going to serenade you before he eats you. You know, like, my man also got some cold lines. He got some cold lines. And he's a mastermind. Look, I'm here for Rockadoodle. Anyway, the Chanticleers, whooped the Jayhawks so bad. Like, they beat them and then took $200,000 from them. Point here is, the Big 12 paid Sun Belt teams $1.1 million to whoop them, to beat them senseless. Like the movie, only way worse, because that movie's actually not bad. I don't know. Did you see Senseless?
Negative, sir.
Marlon Wayans, Rip Torn?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Shout out to Steven Smith with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. All right. I don't know where the Big 12 goes from here. I will say this. The Big 12 play football games on Saturday, which is more than I can say for the Pac-12 and the Big 10. So, if, they're going to be out here just spreading the virus, whether you want it or not. So, you just going to get it. Meanwhile, speaking of spreading the virus, I paid $55 for the Missouri State game. I watched all of it. Spencer Rattler's that dude. But what I was more impressed by was Marvin Mims, who I talked to on this show a couple of times. And I want to educate the people about the Marvin Mims, because the Marvin Mims was going to Stanford. He was going to study mechanical engineering. That's as the best wide receiver in the country, statistically speaking. Marvin Mims broke Jordan Shipley's record for career receiving yards in a high school career with over 5,000. Marvin Mims also owns the national single season receiving record at 2,629 yards in 12 games. Then he shows up returning punts as a true freshman at Oklahoma, which is not the thing that you normally see true freshmen doing. Now, this is an odd year, but still, Charleston Rambo was back there. And yet, Marvin Mims out here catching passes from the Rattler. And Ron, when I tell you I have all these serpentine jokes ready to go, I mean, it's like I'm out here speaking from the book of Adam. Okay? I got it. I had them rolling. I had people in my mentions talk about, RJ, I'm going to allow all of these. Every last one of them. I'm going to allow them all. Like, yo, man, I've been preparing for this day for 3 years. You must be crazy. Like, Rattler, you got to slither between those offensive linemen. You got to pick up that first down, baby. Hey, look, it's a venomous touch that man has.
So I was, not that I was cold on Spencer Rattler, but the amount of attention that he was getting on that were coming through on my social media feeds, I was like, okay, we'll see. It turns out this man is absolutely the truth. And the joke that I don't think is going to come anytime this season, because of how the rest of the Big 12 is playing, is I don't think anybody's going to be able to drop that snake handler joke.
No, but you know what? I have all the snake charmer jokes. I have them ready. I have them. You know what? Just wait till the playoff. Because that's how I go with Oklahoma. You just wait till the playoff. An SEC team or Clemson will show up, and that'll be that. And we'll get all the revival jokes that we need. We'll get all the Appalachia jokes that we need. I have them. They're ready. I saw Leap of Faith. I'm going to rewatch it, make sure I wrote it down correctly. Yeah, man, I'm gonna hit it pretty hard. I'm gonna hit it pretty hard. I'm gonna make sure that we might actually bring the King Cobra jokes out, because that's the other thing about Rattler. So can I drop a little, like, an NFL scout told me on you?
Go for it.
So an NFL scout told me the only thing that he worries about with Rattler is his maturity and his leadership, because everybody saw QB1 be on the lights. And he's cocksure and a bit too arrogant and mean. To which I said to the scout, you can't be a great leader if you've never had your butt kicked. It's just not in you. Like, you don't have that humility because you've never been made to have that humility. And for this kid, what's scary is he doesn't really have a lot to do, and yet it feels like he doesn't have a ceiling. Because he has everything that you want right now from a physical standpoint in the NFL.
Absolutely. He has the tools. And right now, I don't think he's going to be able to get that whooping, because he has people around him who are almost as good as he is. Like, you got Mims out there looking like he's going to be the next great OU wide receiver. I don't see where he gets that comeuppance.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of the odd part about this is nobody questions Trevor Lawrence's ability as a leader, and that dude has lost all of like 7 games in the last 7 years. You know, like, it's a really interesting thing to pick on. And I think, you know, you're right to pick on it because he hasn't done the job, not at Oklahoma. And he did get his high school career prematurely ended because he violated a school policy at Pinnacle where he just wasn't allowed to play football anymore. And all we got was that whatever he did was stupid. Okay, we would love to be able to judge what you think is stupid, but nobody's saying. Now, in that way, it's a really good and well-kept secret because, like, you have everything from, you know, improper relations to marijuana to cheating. Like, people just don't know. They're throwing stuff against the wall, kind of like with the Big Ten. So I'm interested to see how this goes and see what Riley has to say in the future about Spencer Rattler's ability as a leader, because you'll know another dude that got the leadership thing placed on him was Baker Mayfield. And to that, I want to segue to this. Baker Mayfield's on his 3rd head coach and 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 years. Josh Rosen is on his 3rd team in 3 years. Josh Allen is a slingshot personified, but he's getting better. And then we get Sam Darnold, who either A, has mono, B, continues to see poltergeist, or C, is being gaslit. And then Lamar Jackson is, you know, a synonym for GOAT. I find the 2018 quarterback class to be wild interesting. Even more interesting than the 2017 quarterback class that had Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, and of course, Mitch Trubisky in it. So, like, looking at those quarterbacks and looking at what you've seen in college, who's the next Sam Darnold and who's the next Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, I got no answer on that one.
Okay, so
I'm gonna have to see how this season plays out too before I can make a.
Well, that's kind of what's fun about it,
because those two dudes,
mm-hmm.
That's you talking about like the best, or at least not say the, well, yeah, I guess one of them's the best of the best, and the other one's just real good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I don't know that Sam Darnold is real good, but I'm not sure either. I know he's had more opportunities to show that he's real good than Josh Rosen has, but because that was the thing. Like, many people would have said Josh Rosen was the best pro of all the dudes that were available in the 2018 draft. And his Achilles heel has been his arrogance. Like, this dude wanted to commit to Stanford, and then David Shaw pulled the offer after a visit because they just didn't like him. And you know, like, they're used to Andrew Luck, who's a fallible, who has never done any wrong to anybody and studied architecture. Rosen is a smart dude. He also knows he's a smart dude. He does not pretend to be a smart dude or an unsmart dude. My favorite story about Josh Rosen is him going to Elite 11, which at the time and still is run by Trent Dilfer, and correcting a play in the playbook that they were supposed to run. The particulars of it are lost on me, but it was enough to where Dilfer said, yeah, okay, the play was wrong. The way that he told us the play was wrong is where the problem is. I'm like, well, okay, what did he say? He said, we don't know what we're doing. Maybe that's a little much, maybe. But I don't know that that's enough to stop me from, wanting the kid to have an opportunity to be starting quarterback, because I ain't got to get along with you. You just got to go do your job well. And yet Baker's thing was he's going to ride or die for his teammates. His coaches love him, and all of that. And then we get these eggs that he's been laying here over the last 3 years. Again, 3 different. And if you want to count Greg Williams, count Greg Williams. I bet Greg Williams doesn't even count Greg Williams as the head coach for the Cleveland Browns. But
yeah, I was about to say, like, if it's your prerogative to say that Baker Mayfield is 3 years in a wash, go for it. But it takes a little bit of consistency to prove that you're good.
Yeah. And more than a little bit, because at this point, Tyrod Taylor is still a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield, which isn't the shade that you think it is, because Tyrod Taylor is a Pro Bowl quarterback. And yet I look at Tyrod and I see a dude that hasn't really got opportunities. And when he did get the opportunity, like I said, he takes somebody to the playoffs. He goes to the Pro Bowl. And what do? They draft Josh Allen. And they ship him out to Cleveland. And now he is supposed to be the stable pony for this dude in L.A. named Justin Herbert, who I didn't believe in last year, didn't believe in the year before last. I wonder, is Josh Rosen going to get another opportunity? Because he's the third dude at Tampa Bay right now behind Blaine Gabbert and, of course, Brady. Which leads me back to this conversation about quarterbacks and how we talk about them, because Cam Newton is quarterback in New England. They won. They're fine. And I bet Josh Daniels was having a lot of fun calling QB powers, QB counter, rolling Cam out, doing all this stuff that he's never had an opportunity to do before. And Julian Edelman still got his catches. So did N'Keal Harry, for that matter. And who's the starting tight end for the New England Patriots? I know, but I know because I looked it up. Do you know?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay. It's Dalton Keene, right? Coming out of Virginia Tech. He's a rookie. So, they're making it happen. Stephon Gilmore had a pick, so that defense is going to be okay. It's not going to be what it was last year, but I'm here for it. I will ask you that question because I don't know that I have a good answer as to who the next Sam Darnold is or who the next Lamar Jackson is. First, I think I'm going to be able to hit on the Sam Darnold question. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit on the Lamar Jackson question just because, well, Action Jackson is singular. Like, there's Tom Brady and there's Lamar Jackson. Only 2 dudes to be unanimous MVPs in the history of the league. Cannot stress that enough. Might not ever happen again. It's that rare. Like, not even Patrick Mahomes is a unanimous MVP. What? But white dudes that can't cut it as quarterbacks? Yeah, I'm going to get more opportunities to do that because they're going to keep drafting them. They're going to keep drafting them. I was actually talking to Quincy Avery about this. I said, do you think we should retire dual threat and pro style as labels? Because to me, they mean black quarterback and white quarterback. He's like, yeah.
No, that's what they've meant for the past 30 years.
Yeah. And he didn't want to put it just like that. But he's like, yeah, put it this way. If you can't make something happen with your feet when the play breaks down, I'm not going to recruit you. Because that's not the NFL. You got to be able to move. The statue quarterback is gone. And I look at Tom Brady and I see a statue. I look at Drew Brees. I see a dude they bring in to throw deep passes now, to telegraph it. Hey, we're bringing Taysom Hill in. Maybe you back off a few steps. Can't imagine that happening for, Cam Newton, who might be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Teddy Bridgewater's got a job because he can throw a football over the mountains. We don't think of Teddy Bridgewater as moving. And then Avery actually made this point. He says, I saw Teddy Bridgewater play wide receiver. I saw him return punts. Okay? He doesn't get that label. But then again, at the next level, is he that dude? Because Norv Turner tried to make him that dude. It didn't go so well because that ain't what Teddy does. Teddy ain't out here running no zone reads. And then, that's how Robert Griffin III ends up Robert Griffin III, is he gets torched too. All right, so I want to end by giving you some odds here. And I want you to tell me where the value is in these college football playoff odds. But on the way to that, Gary Patterson recently said that Max Duggan is not cleared to play football, which means that he's down to Matthew Downing, who ain't very good, who's also been out for the last 10 days. They don't have a quarterback at Texas Christian. Though they had Sean Robinson, who's going to start at Missouri this year. they had Justin Rogers, who would have started for UNLV if the Mountain West was playing. And then Matthew Baldwin medically retired. And Gary Patterson, as they say, has always been a quarterback away, but this time he might actually need to be playing Wildcat football. All right, so this is from the Vegas Superbook. After week 1, these are the odds. And I'm going to start with the best and go to the worst. Clemson at 2-1. You can't make any money there, but do you like it? Do you like it better than Alabama at 3-1?
Yes, definitely go with Clemson on that, especially if you're going to be losing money.
Yeah. UGA is at 5-1, though I don't know who the hell the starting quarterback is. I don't like it.
No.
I don't like OU at 10-1. Do you like it?
I'm going to have to pass on that one.
Florida and Texas at 12-1.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's good value.
Notre Dame at 20-1.
Who's next up on Notre Dame's schedule? I don't know. I don't have that in front of me.
They got South Florida. That's their one non-conference game.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm throwing money at that.
Okay. A&M and Oklahoma State getting 30-1.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I got to throw a couple dollars at on principle alone.
Auburn and LSU getting 40-1.
I'm doing that one for the trolls.
Miami's getting 60-1. They actually are the primetime game this week against Louisville.
Yeah, good value.
North Carolina at 80-1.
No comment on that one.
Cincy, Texas Christian, Tennessee, Central Florida at 100-1.
Give me those teams one more time.
Cincinnati, Texas Christian, Tennessee, Central Florida.
Yeah, I'll put that one on TCU.
Okay. Iowa State at 200-1.
Yeah, go ahead and take that one too.
Man. Baylor, Florida State, Louisville, Vatech, 300-1.
Yeah, go ahead and put some money on that. Go ahead. Actually, treat that like you're Floyd Mayweather.
Appalachian State, Brigham Young, Louisiana, Memphis at 500-1.
At this point, these are numbers that I have a hard time even conceptualizing.
So I say all that to say somebody put 60 grand down on Kansas State to beat Arkansas State straight up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did.
They would have made $13,000 on that bet. Instead, they lost the whole 60. All right, so with the time left, I wanted to put you on the spot with this one. You saw Tenet. Give me your I don't care. They might care, but you choose. Spoiler or spoiler-free review of Tenet.
Tenet is a fine movie and worth my time. I would say that if you like Christopher Nolan, you're going to like this movie. If you hate Christopher Nolan, you're going to hate this movie because this is everything that he has ever done boiled down to a nice glaze. Imagine that if you have a distaste for Christopher Nolan films as if he were, say, a guitar solo, right? Then Tenet would be a double album of nothing but like Leonard Skinner, Rush, and the Eagles. Check it out.
How many times did you look at your watch?
I don't wear watches. Who's wearing watches nowadays? Old man. See, that's what you are truly a dad.
How many times did you check Twitter?
Oh, 0 times.
Okay, I'm just making sure you're living right. How many times did you hear you went to a drive-in. Never mind. I was going to say, how many times did you hear somebody gasp?
Oh, here's the thing. There are a lot of people that were sitting outside on lawn chairs, and about the halfway point, everybody was leaning forward trying to see what happens.
Ooh.
I'm not going to say that's a good thing because this film is almost like a very angry algebra teacher. It's giving you a lesson that you know that you're going to get, but being very mad at you for asking, okay, can you say that again? Please repeat that. I would say that this movie is hostile.
To the viewer?
Yes.
Oh, that's my favorite kind. Because that's genuinely how I give it. Like, you go get it however it is I want to give it to you. I'm Michael Jackson, you Tito. Last thing I wanted to touch on. My bad. Giannis unfollowed me.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Giannis also unfollowed all of his Buck teammates because Giannis is apparently trying to play chess now. All right, let me ask this straight up. I think I know what the answer is, but let me ask it. You're going to offer me 35% of the cap to sign a 5-year contract. That means you don't have 65% of the cap, or you only have 65% of the cap to spend on teammates that I need to help me, quote unquote, win a championship. If I take this money, I can also take it knowing I'm never going to win a championship with this team. So why take the money if championships are important to you?
I don't know. Like we have a living lesson in LeBron James that you could go ahead and point to not so long ago. This exact same thing happening. Like you have the best player on the planet. He is very good, can do all the things, a once in a generation talent. But if you want to leave him in the Bucks to not win, just get the local love and a couple of maybe even more MVPs, maybe more Eastern Conference Finals, Eastern Conference semis exits, go for it. If I'm Giannis, you got to know that you're going to have to make a play. You should probably make the play for a championship sooner rather than later.
We'll see. I think between the Bucks and the Rockets, I wish Tom Thibodeau on the Rockets the most. I was actually mad to find out he took that job with New York a couple months ago because I was looking forward to him coaching the Rockets and running the hell out of Russ Westbrook and James Harden. I wish that on y'all. All right, now we have reached the final stages of the show where I read out loud the reviews that you have left on the RJ Young Show podcast, wherever it is you get your podcast. As I have said, you leave a 5-star review and it is a positive review, I will read it on the show. Ron, feel free to comment on each one of these. So this one comes from Hami5811. Do you think if OSU plays, they would have the opportunity to make the playoffs? Yes, I do. I really do. It's about whether or not they get to play. I appreciate the 5-star rating and the question as a review. I like that. Says this one is from Really Skinny Black Guy. All right, one of my favorite YouTubers. Thank you. I've been watching RJ since OU lost to Georgia. I remembered looking for answers on how we lost and found him and concluded with this answer. Mike Stoops. Damn right. Ever since then, I've supported RJ as much as I could on Twitter and on YouTube and now the podcast. I'm happy to support, and whenever I get a job, I'm going to become a member. And when you get a national TV show, I'm going to tell everyone I've been watching him since I was 14. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that, man.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to the day ones.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, that's what's up. Okay, this one comes from 63 Tackles. That's not a bad one. Like that's as usernames go, that's not a bad one. I discovered RJ prior to the 2018 college football season on YouTube while looking for some University of Oklahoma football content. Since then, it's been an unusual day if I have not listened to him at least once during that day. I have particularly looked forward to his YouTube videos and podcasts during the pandemic and lockdown. He has provided much needed entertainment during a generally mundane time of wondering if we are going to have a 2020 college football season. I'm amazed by RJ's knowledge and analysis of the game of football, the depth of his research, and especially his enthusiasm for the state of Oklahoma and OU football. As a native Oklahoman, a University of Oklahoma grad, class of 1975, that's right, I got to see 2 national championship teams while on campus and Joe Washington, the all-time greatest running back, fight me, I will not, sir, and an avid University of Oklahoma football fan for decades. RJ just plain makes OU football more fun. Anything and everything I needed to know about OU football, I get from RJ. Thanks, RJ. I appreciate you, man. That was very cool.
Yeah, it's sweet when people recognize you as the content farm you are.
Oh, one-man gawker. The RJ Young Show is the title of this one. This one is a username that is all consonants in one vowel. Okay. RJ Young Show is amazing. It's great content, and you are always talking about the content that matters. I'm from around the Tulsa area, but I'm a Longhorns fan. Love when you talk about the horns. Content. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be the content king. That's okay.
Yeah, no, you're a man for all seasons.
This one comes from Eastside Reg. Title, Keep Up the Good Work. I'm from the East Coast, I'm from the East Coast, Baltimore. To be exact, I moved to Houston, and since living down here, I stumbled across your YouTube page and just been following you ever since. I drive trucks at night, so I can't tell you how much I appreciate the content getting me through them 12 hours every night. My goodness. Big fan of the show. Just wanted to show some love. I appreciate that. Thanks, Reg. Very cool. All right. And last week, I was staring at the ratings. There were 243. Today, there are 258. My thanks to all of y'all that rated the show 5 stars. I sincerely appreciate it. And we will keep this going. If you leave a 5-star review and you want to leave a review, even if it's a question, like my man Hami, I want to get to it. Ron, parting thoughts.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Subscribe to the RJ Young Show podcast, wherever it is you get your podcast. We will see you again on Wednesday. Deuces.